Hey, this is Morgan with DoYouEvenTech. Today in this video, as you can see here, we've got several products from the company Nooie. And I suppose that's how you pronounce that. I'm not 100% for sure. But these products are fairly new and are becoming more popular on Amazon. And I had the chance to get a hold of several of them, and I wanted to take a look at them and kind of let you know what I thought. So here they are in the boxes. They're all actually very nicely packaged. And I do have some removed out of it already. So, but everything came very well packaged. Definitely no complaints on that. No damage during shipping or anything. Every single one of these items, these smart lights, the smart plugs, as well as the smart power strip, all came very well protected. So I was very impressed to see that. So I'm going to turn around here and grab the ones I already have unboxed. If we grab them, put them over here. I went ahead and, for simplicity's sake, tried to get it as condensed as I could to show you functionality, and be able to talk about these just a little bit and give you a few comparisons. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and let it be connected to Wi-Fi while we talk about a couple more things. So again, here we've got the power strip that is 4 individually controlled smart outlets and then 4 simultaneously controlled USB ports. So yes, you can toggle on the power to the USB ports. No, you cannot do them individually. With the ports, you do have individual control of each of them. I have this plugged into the unit so that when this port underneath it is on, then you can control this one secondarily. That's not exactly useful, but still good for demonstration purposes. The Nooie light bulb works really great as well. No complaints with it. As you can see, it does have 800 lumens, which I believe, if I remember correctly, is equivalent to a 60 watt light bulb, if I remember correctly. And all of these other units, I wanted to look and see to not tell you incorrectly. I believe, yes, has a 10 amp maximum. So, breakers in your house, maybe something more like 15 or 20. So, do keep that in mind, that these are not quite as big as some of them that you can get, but 10 amps is more than what you're going to use for any lamp or, fan or thing like that. And I believe that the power strip is the same. The smart power strip also has a 10 amp maximum through it. So, do be careful with it as well to not just plug too many high current drawing devices through it. You definitely want to keep all that in mind. So, these are all compatible with several different smart home things, whether it's Amazon, which is what in my case I'm using, or Google Home, I believe it was compatible with as well. And it is a standard E26 light bulb socket, so very common use case for that. So to get these others powered up, let's go ahead and grab a phone over here and see if we can refresh this and see what is online. So you can see that the bulb is not online and that the single plug is not online, but this device is. So we can either turn on the entire device by clicking that, or of course by asking a smart home assistant. We're going to click on this, and I want to specifically right now turn on these two. So I can look at the orientation of this. Obviously if you use it often, you'll probably name it differently. But I'm going to go ahead and turn on the light, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the outlet here. So now both of these will be powering up. It'll take them a second, but they should also connect up to the Wi-Fi and show right here in the dashboard. So you see the light came on by default. Should be able to toggle it off if it's responding just yet, and it is. There are no issues that I've seen with this as far as controlling it from the application, as far as controlling it from a Home Assistant, I didn't really see any issues with any of those things. So if we want to test the Assistant, I called it the Nooie Lite. Let's go over here just to demonstrate this. Turn on Nooie Lite.
Okay.
So as you can see, using the application built into the phone and the Amazon integration, I'm not sure if you could hear the response, but turn off Nooie Lite.
Okay.
So, I mean, absolutely no issues. And that works the same for the single plug. For this device as well, you can name these. They show up in your device list in here. You can add them to routines. It really works well. Now, when you start going with what I would say is non-name brands, and I don't want to say that like that's always bad. It's not always bad, because you can get stuff that's really worth the money. But a relatively unheard of company that has a lot of devices that are really starting to be more prevalent and being sold more, I reached out to them and asked where their servers were based out of. Now, the company themselves does all their manufacturing in China, and I believe in China, and their headquarters may as well be in China. But they do host in two different cities. Microsoft Azure servers is actually what they're using to turn on and off these devices. There is always with any smart device, and I don't care what company it is from, potential for security issues, and there definitely are some best practices that I try to follow to ensure that if my data is not going where I intended it to, that I either know about that or attempt to block it as much as I can. So there are definitely some best practices, and if you guys are interested in knowing more about that, let me a comment underneath this video here, and we may look at maybe making a video about best practices with home security for smart systems like that. If you need like a setup video for this and you're interested in that, also leave me a comment and let me know that you're interested in seeing how to set these up. They were very easy. The application walks you right through it. You do have to set up an account with them, but again, it was super easy, and it just works extremely well, especially when you figure in the cost of them. The 4-pack was very affordable of the single plug. The smart power strip is actually somewhat hard to find one that looks nice, is a nice size, has a fairly long cable. There's lots of things going for this. And again, I think it was around $30. Maybe these were $35 for 4 of these. These may have been more expensive for a 4-pack. It may have been like $55 or something. But again, really, really, really extremely reasonably priced for what they do and how they function, because they are extremely responsive, and in some cases more responsive, I feel like, than some of my other brands, maybe like TP-Link and things like that. So all of these units that you see right here, I've been using on and off in this exact configuration here to test and see how often do they reconnect. So power cycle in this, does it reconnect every time? And the answer is yeah, it seems to. It seems to come back on every single time. If I ever picked up this phone and requested the status of one of these to change, it changed. So I have no complaints as far as reliability goes. And the speed is probably due to the at least the primary servers being hosted on Azure here in the US in a couple of the different Azure locations. So really, really solid system. Again, as with any smart home, you definitely need to follow some general best practices for security, just because there are lots of components inside of these, and they don't get broken apart and looked at all the time. And there just are potentials for the more different companies you add and the more different devices you add, that one of them's databases may get exposed and your credentials exposed as well. So it is always good to follow some best practices and things like that. That's with any smart home devices, though. I should have links to all these in the description. If you're interested, definitely please pick them up from the affiliate link down there. It really helps support the channel and helps me make more videos like this. If you're interested in seeing anything else, definitely leave a comment. Let me know. And this is Morgan with DoYouEvenTech. We'll see you again in the next video.